of any purchase with code TOP for the official podcast. Go to establishedtitles.com/top. Look at that. And help support the channel. Our show's kind of amazing. We get both the Jack Off podcast and top
We get
out
so
of our
many
name.
cool
Isn't that
rooms
great?
from it.
We get a lot of great stuff here. Holy shit. Establishedtitles.com/top. Support the channel, get 10% off. Do something nice for the environment.
Yeah, the tree idea is a nice one. Trees last for a long time too, until you cut them down. And I don't think they cut them down,
Or
so
burn
we'll do
them.
on that front. Yeah. We'll do anything with them, really. You just leave them and they last a long time.
In fact, for every plot you don't buy, we'll cut down a tree. So get moving.
Holding the trees hostage. I like that.
All right, so I guess I'll go to my next topic. So it's relevant to the same story. I went to a wedding this weekend and I was on a plane. And I'm not gonna. We
Jesus, this
talked
guy
a lot.
lives a crazy life.
I
Two
know, I
weddings
can't
in
be
one
stopped.
weekend,
I
Andrew?
can't-
How did you have the time?
Oh boy, it was a tight schedule. I nearly fainted from exhaustion. But so we talk about planes a lot. This has nothing to do with the plane itself. On one of my flights, the row in front of me only had 2 seats. I was in like a normal 3-person row, and the row in front of me had 2 because it was an exit row near like a big fucking door. And that meant that the person in front of me, I could see absolutely everything they were doing because I was on the end of the 3-person row and they were just in the middle of the 2-person. So I could see everything this guy was doing. And he was like probably late 50s, early 60s, balding, a little sweaty. You know, kind of, but just like an old looking,
Basically
kind of like a dude who would be like higher up in a company, just an old looking kind of stern looking man.
Revolting piece of shit, huh? Yeah.
Oh, that's
Fuck
going to
that
be
guy.
very relative. That's going to be very relevant to this story, Charlie. I'm glad you said that.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there doing my shit. I brought my Switch, was just playing some games, and I glance up and he's got his phone out and he's got like the in-plane Wi-Fi. And at first he's browsing for business computers. He's literally on Amazon. He's comparing prices. He's like, oh, this one's like a dual core Intel,
Wait.
whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I don't care. So I go back
Andrew.
to playing some games. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but can you frame this story in such a way that we have to guess the outcome?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So hang on. So I play some games and then, you know, I take a break again and I look up and I see something on his phone.
Okay.
And all I'll tell you is this. I saw the word cock
Okay.
and the word pussy. Now you can guess. What did I see?
He was writing a lovely email to his wife.
Okay, Kaya,
He was buying a chastity cage.
Charlie.
He was reading erotic fanfic.
Oh.
Charlie is correct.
Let's go!
I saw the word cock and pussy, and I went, now wait a minute, what is this? And I started reading what was on his phone. He was reading mother-son incest porn.
Holy fuck.
Like a transcript or like fanfic?
No, he was on literotica.com, which I saw because of the banner ads, and he was reading a first-person perspective story of a mother having sex with her son.
How big is
And
his
I know
font?
this because I read along with him for about 10 minutes.
How big was
I
his
wanted
font?
to make sure. Well, so he was old, and it's funny. He pulled out his text at one point, and they were huge. His text message font was like maybe one message could fit on the screen at the time. Because he was an old man, so he probably had bad eyesight. So when he was reading this fan fiction, this fucking mother-son incest porn, one paragraph took up the whole screen.
He had
was
text
just
to
huge
speech on
font, so I could
accessibility
easily
as
read
well.
it.
He was just reading out loud to the entire plane.
So it's times like this where I'm glad I'm a complete fucking loser degenerate online, because I wasn't embarrassed. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen.
Why would
I
you be
wasn't like, oh
embarrassed?
god, oh no.
Yeah, you should have leaned forward and been like, can you scroll down?
Can you tell me that? Link?
Yeah,
Well,
can
he
you scroll
was
back up? I
quick.
wasn't finished reading.
He was he was a fast reader. He was fucking scrolling through it. Like, he would just fly through it, though. The man
Maybe
was
he was-
a savant.
Okay, how about maybe he is the author and he was just spell checking it or something?
That's the funny. No, that's the funny thing. I thought maybe someone like he had a friend or he wrote it or something. He scrolled at the bottom and it was an account uploaded by someone whose profile picture was like a late 30s woman.
Oh, that doesn't mean
And
anything.
then,
Yeah, he could
and
be
then
catfishing.
when he was
Could be an
done,
alias.
okay, it might not, but when he was done, he clicked her profile picture and read another story from her profile. This time,
He's a fan.
this time it was lesbian hypnotism. So the man has a lot of tastes. He has a very refined palate when it comes to literotica. But he was just doing this on the plane, just in view of everybody.
Did he have anyone
care.
next to him, or was he the entire
Yeah,
road to
he
himself?
was sitting next to another guy about his age, and I don't think they were together. So he just didn't care.
That's fucking goofy.
So to make sure that I was seeing what I was seeing, and it was true, I wrote down some choice lines that I could see on my phone. If you'd like me to recite
Oh
them.
yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is, and this is from the first person perspective, mother-son incest. If you really want to be my whore mom, said Harry. Yes, Harry, I replied. Let me come in your ass.
That's quite direct for that kind of
And
relationship.
that's about the
Harry.
line where I was like, yeah, this is what this is, isn't it? On the lesbian hypnotism one, I wrote down, I wonder how many cocks you've had in your mouth, Rachel. Kinda hot considering you're a lesbian.
Yep.
Is that like a conversion?
That's what lesbians
kink?
are known for. Loving cock.
But I think that's what the kink is. There, it's like they're trying to convert lesbians in, or I don't
No,
know.
Oh yeah,
it
that's
definitely,
that's the classic
definitely
male
was.
kink. Yeah.
it definitely was a conversion kink because the whole story like 50 times kept saying Rachel couldn't believe what was happening. She thought she was gay. Like it just said that over and over and over again. And then finally, probably my favorite, I have, there was a loud thwack and a wet mark on her face from his cock. Nice little action panel.
Yeah, that's pretty
like
cool.
some
The thwack.
reading
Book
Iron Man.
sound effects. Whammo.
So could you
Come
see,
on.
was he like pitching a tent in his seat?
Well, that I didn't check. I didn't personally care to see.
What is even the point of that? Of just like making yourself frustrated on a fucking airplane where you can't even jerk off?
That's
Yeah.
dude. That is what I kept thinking. He never went to the bathroom, so it's not like he went to go jack off in private or something. And as far as I'm aware, he wasn't jacking off in his seat. So my question was, why read porn fan fiction just in the middle of a plane in view of many other passengers for no reason?
Well, he was
Why?
looking up business laptops before, so maybe it is a business angle. Maybe he's like an editor or something.
I guess, but here's the other funny thing. The last thing I wrote down on my phone, because I didn't want to forget this, he went to his home screen at one point, and his desktop or his phone wallpaper was of like 7 different children, all posing for a family photo. So I'm assuming he had kids and grandkids. It's like, if that's your background on your phone, why would you read this on your
Yeah,
phone?
you need like a burner phone for your Insta. Yeah,
Exactly. Oh boy. And he did this all flight.
you
Like
think-
he went to check stocks at one point, but then it was right back to the porn. he was
Work
he
is
was an animal.
calling.
It was an hour. It was an hour and a half flight, and for a straight hour and 15 minutes of it, he was reading porn. It was amazing. I was fucking flabbergasted.
That's so fucking bizarre.
Do you think
know.
he's telling the story to his family and friends right now about how he was looking behind him himself on the flight, looking at you playing with your Nintendo Switch, thinking,
Yeah,
about
what a nerd.
Yeah, what a fucking loser. Doesn't read
At least
his
I'm reading
porn on the
porn like a
plane.
man. Well, no, he's probably like, "Whoa, that's Andrew from the official podcast. I'm going to give him a story he won't
Oh
forget."
yeah, you paid this guy.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, fucking. So Juliana, my girlfriend, was next to me in the seat, and I literally showed her my phone because I didn't want to say it out loud, and I had wrote, "The guy in front of me is reading mother-son incest porn," and she just went, "What?" and leaned over and saw it and confirmed, and it's like, I couldn't fucking believe it was happening. Who does this? You know?
That's pretty aggressive.
But I also, this might be like really square, but I think it's like super fucked up to have sex on a plane in general. Like people want to join the Mile High Club. I don't know how you could get in the mood on an airplane and then have sex in the like toilets. They're so cramped and they're
Toilets are
so
so
shitty.
fucking nasty. Yeah, I can barely fit. How do you hump anyone in there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's
weird.
just a myth. I actually don't even. I think you can count on one hand the amount of times that's happened on a public plane. Private planes, I'm sure it happens all the time, but public planes, I just don't see it happening.
No, it's not even an arousing place either. It's super loud and everyone's like
it's yucky.
coughing and gross.
It's like cold. It feels like there's like a perpetual cold going around.
Yeah. Like I could get reading porn for the story if you find a genuinely interesting one. I don't know, but number one, I was reading along and this story was not very good. It was like a 5th grade reading level. It was just not interesting. And number two, if you're not reading it for the plot, why are you reading it on a plane of all places? Like one of the least arousing places you can be.
Maybe he's an old guy. Maybe he's got to do a lot of pre-gaming. So he was getting ready for once he gets on the ground.
He has to spend an hour reading erotic fucking
To feel anything, to get some movement.
Or he was edging himself.
Oh man,
I don't know. There's like a million different reasons, possibly.
He was a real Renaissance man, though. He fucking went for business computers, then he read some porn, then he started trading stocks, read some porn, then he answered text messages about a meeting and read more porn. Like he really worked it in there. He just couldn't be stopped.
I really don't think fucking on a plane is like a hypothetical. I think it does happen because do you guys remember that viral tweet that went around at the start of like COVID of the girl licking the toilet seat in the plane?
That was a private plane though as well.
Oh, was it private? Well, still, disgusting. But there's also like on Gone Wild subreddits and stuff. I've definitely seen people fucking in planes.
Well,
so
people do
I
it.
believe it.
No,
Not everyone flies private.
No, to do that though, 100%. Jackson, I was just on a plane. There is no way that's actually getting done. It's too cramped, and even if that was the case, like the jolt, like the jostling and everything, it wouldn't happen. Plus, the flight attendants are right there.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to bring up.
It's usually next to
super
the galley.
No. Here's the thing. It is like you are in eye line of 30 people at a time for that bathroom. Even if they're not directly looking at you, someone can glance up and notice 2 people going into the bathroom.
Okay, counterpoint. You flew domestically, Charlie. Domestic planes are much smaller than international flights. On international flights, the toilets aren't much larger, but the plane is significantly larger to the point where it's like usually out of sight. Or at least in like the business cabin and stuff like that. So I could see it happening there.
Also, most passengers really don't pay any attention or care what anyone else is doing. You
everyone's
could
like
ask
Andrew
me how
with
many
his
people... Yeah, you nosy bitch. But like when I'm sitting there, I don't keep track of who's going to the toilet. The only time I ever notice is whether the toilet is occupied or not because I have to piss or not, you know? Also, sometimes the flight just isn't that full. I've been on more than one flight where I've been almost alone in the cabin, or where there were only like 10 people on the plane because sometimes it doesn't get booked enough. On that occasion, you could easily get like a fucking blowjob from your girlfriend without anyone noticing.
But then they're going to notice in the opposite effect. They're going to go, my only 2 passengers seem to both be in the same bathroom. That's kind of weird.
Well, no, I didn't mean the bathroom. I meant like, again, I feel like you could get away with it if you're lucky enough, but I meant more like if you and your girlfriend are sitting side by side and the cabin is empty and it's after the meal cart time, like, yeah, you can get a blowjob and finger her.
Well, yeah,
I don't know about
but that's
writing.
different than just... Yeah, that's just different than full-on fucking. I've actually seen that on Reddit as well, where like they put like a blanket over their girlfriend's head and get a blowjob in the cabin.
Yeah, I've seen it in the cabin more than the toilets, actually.
Yeah.
But on international flights, everyone sleeps at the same time as well, pretty much.
Yeah. It would be easy.
So I think it could happen then.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I just think that...
Yeah, I'm not saying it's never happened.
Does the
I just don't
blowjob
think
still
it's common.
qualify you as like the Mile High Club, or do you have to fuck?
I don't know. You'd have to consult the council.
File a petition to the airline.
This is nothing attractive about it to me. Who?
The guy sitting in front of me was probably one of like high elders of the fucking Mile High Club Council. He probably was a level 17 wizard on it.
Well, I think reading
incest
porn on the flight gets you into the club as well. I'd go.
Well,
you're in the Mile High Club too, Andrew.
He also got really lucky. So the website he was on had banner ads, and I saw it was literotica.com, and they censor their banner ads. So he got so lucky because he scrolled down past the story to go to like the ads at the bottom, and it was a woman whose breasts were tastefully covered by like flowers or some shit. But he very easily could have just gone to a website where it was just porn ads.
Yeah,
just on his
but
phone.
again, I feel like
he cares.
I don't think the flight attendants care. I think as long as you're not actually whipping your dick out and openly jerking off, I don't think they would give a fuck. They
would
be
absolutely
so
give a
jaded.
fuck if you got like titties out on your screen and shit like that. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They would.
I think
I don't know, though.
if another
No, I
passenger,
don't.
no, if another
Some of
passenger
the in-flight movies
complains,
have tits.
Well, that's tasteful.
No, they
tits.
censor it, don't they?
No, I don't think
No?
so. No,
I thought in-flight movies had to be censored for content.
no, I really don't think they are. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once on my flight, and there's like dildos and shit there. They weren't like censored wieners.
I mean,
Maybe things
I
have
don't
changed.
think. I think if you had gotten up, Andrew, and like complained to one of the stewardesses, like, this man is reading porn and it's making me uncomfortable, then
And he
maybe
won't
they
let
may
me
have stepped
see.
in. I don't know. I just don't think. I feel like they're just too jaded to give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think
You
we're
really
probably.
should. You should have made a scene out of it, like, "Hey, buddy, fuck, I'm trying to read that," and like make him uncomfortable, and he has to complain.
I should have waited and been like, this is some hot stuff, huh?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, what? You degenerate, disgusting, stewardess! I'm trying to read my
I'm
porn
an
in
editor
peace."
for this website, you fucking pervert.
Oh, you scumbag! My God.
All I know is if he was an editor, he did a whole lot of reading the entire story without writing down any notes or corrections. So
I think it's probably
man.
like